Good evening, everyone. It's me, the owner of MYBC Consulting. There's only one of me, but sometimes me, myself, and I can get into trouble, but we never get into trouble when we bring you authors on the MYBC Virtual Bookstore Author Series. That's that Tuesday night, either at 5 p.m. or 7 p.m., depending on the time zone of the author. I bring you and we talk books. Putting those books on the shelves, into the e-version, into a download. We need to honor the book writers out there. So my internet's saying it's a little wacky, so hopefully I don't lose this particular author. So good evening. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you, Jeanette. My name's Kevin Gebert, and I'm the author of Financial Fotographs, How to Talk to Your Family About Money. And I am a hop, skip, and a jump from Jeanette. Probably 15-minute drive into Surrey. So Surrey, British Columbia. So yeah.
So Kevin,
thank you very much for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Just before we got on to here, I was saying kind of my why. They say you always should know your why in life. And this is a when moment for us, is that I truly believe that those of us that have a platform to keep people in their creative spirit, whether it's art, whether it's pottery, whether it's book writing, it keeps us in what our God-given talents are. And I know you've got a couple of them, and your background is going to get talked about, just so you're aware, because it's fantastic. That it does us so good that we live in each other's gifts to make sure that we are supporting each other in this incredible world to make it go around. And Kevin and I think we've known each other 15 years, maybe?
Yeah, 10 to 15. I'm probably closer to 15, but yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, way back when, networking at the 2007, actually.
Is it that long in Langley? Yeah.
Yes,
at the casino.
Yep. Every Friday morning, 7:30, bright and shiny, we were networking together. So that's how we build business. And I'm honored to have you here tonight. So Kevin, let's give everybody the Reader's Digest version of who Kevin Gibbert is. Who is he?
Well, I just turned 50. Yeah, so midlife crisis, but no, seriously. 25 years ago, I started in the financial planning world. And yeah, so I'm a financial planner, dad of a 14-year-old son and an 11-year-old daughter, statistic of divorce, unfortunately, and really want to put a smile on people's faces when it comes to the awfully boring topic and often taboo topic of financial planning and money in general. So yeah, no, I got into the financial world because of my soccer abilities or inabilities. I went to plant a church in Winnipeg and did like a youth director kind of role part-time. And the pastor's financial planner needed someone to do paperwork and graph paper and do something called a mutual fund and a GIC. And I thought, hey, as a 19-year-old, this is interesting. I needed more money than anything to live and for full time, and got introduced to the financial world. And January 1st, snowstorm of January 1st, 1996 started my practice. So
let's go a little deeper into there. What is the training like for somebody in the financial planning world? What kind of? It's
a lot different now than it was 20 or 30 years ago. Everything was online. So I basically wanted to stay the top of my game from an education standpoint. So I'm a certified financial planner, which is the gold standard around the world. And I believe next year to be accredited as a financial planner, you do need a 4-year arts degree. But when I took it in 1999, much different. And I've just built up my online courses and that sort of thing. I don't even know if you could probably go to it. It's basically you have to go to an educational route to qualify for the exam. So yeah, so you have to do it through whatever the credentials are to qualify you for the different ways to get your credentials to be eligible to apply to write the exam. So you just don't take a course and become a financial planner. And then I do 7-8 years ago, I moved from the mutual fund world to discretionary management. I'm associate portfolio manager, so I do the financial planning, the life the life insurance, disability, all that stuff. And from an investment standpoint, I do discretionary management. So a little bit different, but it enables me to do the work that I'm meant to do as a financial planner. So kill less trees.
It sounds fascinating for, as you said at the top, a bit of a dry topic. But fascinating on itself, because if anything that people need to talk about is, of course, the dollars and cents of what makes this world go around. And why this chosen career? Like, why? Because you could have learned your stuff and went, not for me. So what were some of the pivotal moments that just kept you doing this career, Kevin?
I just started moving to Winnipeg. If I wouldn't have moved to Winnipeg, I probably wouldn't have got into the financial world. If my mom had her way, I would have become a teacher or a youth pastor. And yeah, so it was just, I moved back here. I decided to write the exam. You know, the early years I worked as an associate or as an admin assistant, you know, for other planners, learning from everybody. And just on that day that I could do 100% on my own, that day was great and scary at the same time. And then 2015, 14, I took a stand-up comedy course. I started speaking from stage. The book got published back then. And then all hell broke loose with my marriage ending and my mom passing away from cancer in the same month, really. So I've utilized just taken financial planning, tackled the taboo of not talking about it in the family, and that's hence the book, Financial Photographs: How to Talk to Your Family About Money. And I sing on stage. My stand-up comedy is financial. I turn financial songs into 80 songs into financial songs. So let's get fiscal. Show me that your budget rocks is a great joke of mine. On the Phone to the CRA, which is a Bruce Springsteen song. And so just using comedy and now music, to what I call the trifecta of content, comedy, and music in the whole world of edutainment, which isn't a word that I coined. It's someone coined it somewhere down the road. But really, at the end of the day, if I can do something that will introduce the world, just not Canada, outside the world, to financial planning, I think I've put a positive effort into this world.
So correctly say the name that's above your head.
Oh, so this pre-COVID,
I
had this idea that I'd have a course for my clients. So I wrote a course for my clients, and then Tina, who was my story coach, she remembered that she mentioned to me that I did stand-up comedy, and I said, well, what does that have to do with courses? And then I started watching Seinfeld, which brought me back to the days in Winnipeg, because at the Bible college I was at, they watched Seinfeld every Thursday night. Oh, what's this Seinfeld thing? And so I watched Seinfeld, and really I utilized the Seinfeld had a joke, and then act 1, joke 2, act 2, that sort of thing. So I took that as the curriculum. And then me, myself, and I had a very important executive meeting one night, and we decided
and you all showed up.
We all showed up. Yeah.
Sometimes when I have me, myself, and I meetings, I does not show up, and me, myself gets into so much trouble.
Yeah. So we had a meeting and some iced tea. This is iced tea. We talked about this in the green room, that this is peach iced tea. And we decided that every course needs a theme song. So Mr. Moolah Doolah was born, my alter ego. I have 4 alter egos with Moolah V, and because we birth money stories. So if we were talking about Mr. Moolah Doolah, I'd be in Scrubs right now. And because we birth, Moolah, birthing babies, and I birth money stories. But Moolah, life and money on purpose is the tagline, or living your life and money on purpose is the tagline. And I was in a mastermind group, and someone challenged me, why don't you create a word? Because I felt kind of naked. I needed a word.
Right.
And so Moolah V is Moolah money. And thanks Miss Greenwood, who failed me in grade 11, but kept me for 5 years in high school. C'est la vie en français is its life. So Moolah V is a reinvented world. So I will have a Kickstarter one day or something to make it a word in the Webster Dictionary.
Ooh, that's a good goal there, Kevin.
I know. So live in the Moolah V. So one of the songs. So So this is an album, 14 songs. It's on Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff. And yeah, and then every rock star needs 3 names. So in the honor of my father, as a thank you to him, I don't know if he likes my music, but I guess as his son, he said he does. But Kevin Leonard Gebert is my rock star name.
Okay.
So
that is a good rock star name. I like it.
Kevin Leonard Gebert. Yeah. And yeah, so Unlock My Happy is the album cover. And I forgot to I have know nothing about printing or anything, so I forgot to ask the printer for spacing, like a border.
Yep.
So there's actually keys underneath here, but it's a copy of my album cover. So, and that's one of the characters. Unlock Your Happy, like Mr. Smith, unlock, locksmith.
Right.
So Unlock My Happy. So
now, your caricatures, were they done by the person that I think I know who might have done them? Yes, Glenn. Yes. Yeah, let's give a shout out to
I'm
him.
gonna not get his last name right. Dumantel.
Yes.
That's right. Oh, there we go.
You got it
so
right.
Glenn, if you're watching, I got your last name right. But yeah, no, I like for my album, I wrote all my lyrics. Michelle Carlisle is the songwriter. I don't know what I love her. She tells me now that every song doesn't need a bridge, but I love bridges. I love bridges. But I didn't know how to write music like a C flat at all. So I did the lyrics, she did the music, and then I sang it. So all the songs are my voice, and Rob Begg out of Langley is the record producer. And yeah, so.
You know what? I just want to pause you there for a second, because I was having a conversation with another fellow who's coming up June 14th, who's going to have a book come out. He's got a book that's 20 pages that he puts on his website. And I said, no, dude, that's a book. Like, any time you take a few words, put it together, ebook, download a book. And he's overall been known in the industry for being a content writer. So content writer for other people. I said, you're writing life for other people. And like, you wrote this album, like you wrote the story, wrote the whole purpose of the album. So really cool. So if you think out there, people, that you have to be an author of a book, being an author of your own story is an author. That's living your life.
If you really think life is a story, right? Yeah. And I'm all about stories. So that's one of my courses. You're writing your money story, and then you have an opportunity at the end to put music to it to create your own money song. So when it comes to the lyrics, all these lyrics are educational. They're based on curriculum. And so I take verses, I take bridges, I take choruses, and I can make a IG reel, I can make a TikTok reel, and it all the content moves back to the programs, courses, and offerings that I have online. So it is a business plan. Available? Pardon me?
That course is still available?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make sure afterwards that we put that in.
Yeah, it's called My Moolah Story.
Yeah.
And it's on Thinkific platform. And I can provide links and all that stuff. Yeah, because it's each pillar. Like, one pillar of Moolah V is money, Moolah. One pillar is life. One pillar is a plan, like your financial plan. So I've taken the Sesame Street song, These Are the People in Your Neighborhood. And it's a song called Callin, CALLIN', who you calling who would you call in your financial plan? So the mortgage broker, the accountant, the lawyer, the life coach, all that stuff. And then the fourth pillar is Funnytude, which is a fun attitude. So it's all about being happy, creative, authors, musicians, all artists, all that fun stuff. So, because at the end of the day, your happy might be dormant, so you have to unlock it.
I love it. Love it. So now let's move to your pages in a book. And you said that was published 4 or 5 years ago?
2000. I'd have to look at the public. I'm actually going through a YouTube channel video every Friday. I'm releasing an author read. It's actually 2013. Yeah.
So if you can show the cover of the book. Perfect.
Is that backwards or not?
No, you're forward. You're definitely forward. What I love getting authors to do, Kevin, is can you read the back of your book, please?
The back is a quote from Pat Foran, who's the author of The Smart Savvy Young Consumer. A fresh approach to an important subject. This is a timely book to encourage families to openly discuss money matters so everyone can benefit from each other's financial experiences. And one of the quotes is, "I wish my parents had talked to me about money," which is basically the genesis of this book.
So now let's get into the process. You decided, because it's not a tiny book. You've got some.
No, it's actually one thing you got to remember when you publish books is how long it is, because Canada Post, a mailing is a lot different depending on where you live, countries and all that stuff. So it's probably about 100 pages too long to bump me over to cost me for the mailing. But it is 58 chapters. So that creates 58 opportunities on a Friday Financial Photographs video. And it's 288 pages.
Yeah, that is hefty, because they say about that 180, 200 mark for a book. So tell us the experience. How did you set yourself up for writing the book?
Well, I've always wanted to write. The why it's called Financial Photographs is my mom used to take pictures, and probably she was the pension plan for the printer, or for the picture person, because back then with negatives and dark rooms and all that stuff, right? So at PharmaSave. So she always had taken pictures, and my dad took us to McDonald's on payday Fridays. Always had coffee. So the book was going to be called just Coffee, but the publisher agreed. We talked about Financial Photographs. So it's taking a conversation over pictures over coffee. And I was going to self-publish it. And then I had an opportunity. I wasn't going to say no to a publisher to publish it. And so that was a lot different. I do it. My second book's coming out. Well, it's half written. It's going to be called Don't Be Chicken with Your Moolah, Be Smart. Play on chicken. So it's half cookbook, half money book. But with the writing, it was great experience. It probably wouldn't have got done when it got done, because I had a contract to sign and an advance and all that stuff. So that forced me to get it done. So having a accountability partner, I'm not saying you have to sign a paper or give someone money if you don't meet your deadline, but that did help. And it was a blast. I remember my book launch. It was on, I forgot that there was a week in between Super Bowl on Super Bowl Sunday. So my book launch, I've always wanted to do a stand-up comedy, like a David Letterman kind of Jay Leno kind of thing. So I did that as comedy, music, and real guests as a book signing. But I had it on Super Bowl Sunday. Because I already booked the golf course, right? So it was a Seattle-Denver game. So, but anyways, it was a great writing experience. It's probably too long of a book that my publisher wanted, but at the end of the day, it created a lot of conversations. And one thing I'd learned though is that a book, in my view, totally my view, but if you're going to write a book, you should know what program or something that you should have to accompany it, to have that as a revenue source as well. So so the next book I'm actually releasing chapter by chapter, and then once it's written 32 chapters, then I'm going to the publisher.
So question for you, because it sounds like with what you do for your clients in your day-to-day life, how did you fit this in?
I wanted someone to pick it up. So it's 99% non-time sensitive. So there's nothing to do, like in Canada, RSP room.
Hold it. I think you're misinterpreting. So you've got your life that you're managing, your customers and the money and stuff like that. And you've written this almost 300-page book. What was your schedule like in order how did you set yourself up for success?
10 to 2 in the morning.
Okay.
10 o'clock at night to 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the time I get all my creativity at night. So 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock in the morning.
So I would say, people out there, identify where your best writing time is. That's a really good tip.
Morning, it's like when I'm on stage, you tell me to write a joke, I can't write a joke, right? But I can write a joke in 30 seconds, but when the idea comes to me, you can't say write at 7 o'clock. Right. Some people can just, write so many words a day. That's fine. You just have to find where your comfort level is, when you can have time. I'm working, running a practice, and then kids are down and for sleep. And so 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever. So. Okay.
So I'm going to ask you now to read the first paragraph in chapter 20, my birth date, please. What's your tip in there, or what are you
Chapter 20,
Yep.
revisiting risk.
Ooh.
It's about me, a picture of me at Bear Creek Park, for those people that know Surrey, jumping off the high diving board. So first page?
Yeah, first page.
Or first paragraph? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Risk can mean different things to different people at different stages in life. Knowing what risk means to you is very important, as it affects the decisions that you make now and in the future when following your financial plan. Below is a list of different risks associated with investing in your financial plan. These are important to know so that you can develop your own interpretation of each type of risk and understand how to build it into your financial plan. So that's basically talking about what I call the PAC principle, what's packed into your financial plan: protection, accumulation, conversion, and transfer.
Okay, so we're going to kind of pull this together. Who are 3 people that you believe need to purchase this book or gift it to somebody? Who are 3 people?
I would say I'll take the marriage / divorce. I would say someone that is getting married. So part of the pre-marriage counseling, meaning because the 2 partners might have different backgrounds of money.
Okay, that's a great
during your
idea.
marriage, because stress and money is a big thing. And second marriages. So people that are divorced that might be going into their second marriage. There's a lot of money conversations. And if you don't have the strength of a relationship is that much stronger, is if you don't have the stress of money in your relationship, and that does force you to talk about it. So those are the 3 areas that I would suggest. So
I would also suggest, because I love, after hearing someone's story, people say I'm a good gift giver, and that's because I listen to what people are doing. I'd almost like to say a business school, like a high school in that grade 12.
Yeah. No, I did a course for grade 11s and 12s about 15 years ago. So it's just, I don't know about the school system now, but when I took something called consumer ed,
right, I remember that.
Yeah, it was like, okay, pick the stock that has the funniest name, the longest name, or whatever, and really, you can debate your view on what's taught in schools and that sort of thing, but there's not enough financial education as a general contribution. It's better now than it was when I was in high school, but with junior achievement and so forth. It's in the school system. As a kid, I did a kids program with a ventriloquist. We did puppets and that sort of thing, introducing the family. And it's not a big deal. These days, when I was a kid and that sort of thing, it's like, okay, well, you don't want to tell so-and-so that your parents make so much or whatever. Like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And you don't leave this world with money. So my two final questions. So you said at the top, you have 2 children. So what are those conversations like with your kids about money? I'd bring it back to the book. Is that one time I remember my son coming in when I was writing the book and said, "Dad, you should write a book about needs and wants. Like, I need a pair of jeans, but I want a game, right?" And I don't know if it was the exact day or the day after, the week after, I actually wrote the chapter about needs and wants. And so it's just in another conversation, I think it was my daughter, and a reminder on YouTube or on Facebook came up, and I think it was my daughter that finally told me to go to work once she knew what the money was about, rather than, "Oh, Dad, don't go to work," because I work from home and I'd work nights too, going to see clients, and, "Oh, don't go to work and then own money." Okay. And then even one time in the mall, looking at buying a helmet for their bike compared to a toy, what that costs and that sort of thing. So because my mom I went to kindergarten. When I was in kindergarten, we went and I planted a tree in the backyard, and I used I don't know if it's a true story, but I used the thing about my mom used to always say money doesn't grow on trees, right? So Yeah, so it's when you're talking about kids, it's like there's a lot of people out there now that, they're not going to pass any money to their kids at all.
Right.
The Warren Buffetts of the world and Bill Gates and that sort of thing, right? And so it's a conversation, but it's up to the parents to decide at what level it is and what content and that sort of thing. And I work, my first job was babysitting in the McDonald's, so.
So I'm going to say one more gift might be for new parents to tuck it into a baby gift.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
Yeah, because it is how to talk to your friend about money. It's not just kids.
Right.
It's just stories. At the end of the day, you read the book and you know what questions to ask when you go see your financial planner. That's at the end of the day, that's my name's on it. But I wrote it just so you would know, depending on where you live, you would know what to ask, because that's somewhat of a hurdle for people to go talk to somebody because they don't know what questions to ask, or I don't have enough money or whatever have you, right?
So to wrap this up, Kevin, I'm going to give you the last word. What has been a book writing experience been for you?
Given the current world and everything that we're in or have been experiencing, writing is I don't golf. Writing is my golf. Okay. It allows me to get away from the chaos of the world and then gives me the energy to get back into the chaos.
Love it. That's perfect. Thank you so much, Kevin, for
being you, Jeanette,
guest author tonight and sharing your journey of writing an album, writing your life, and writing your book.
It's all about your story.
We're going to make sure Kevin puts his information in the bottom. I always forget when I say to people, if you've got any questions for Kevin, throw them into the Facebook video comment section, and he'll make sure to come back and check it later, because I do like to be the present for my guest authors today. So join me again next Tuesday at, I think we're 5 p.m. because we have someone from the East Coast area for another edition of the MYBC Virtual Bookstore Author Series. You know what I say? Grab a book off the shelf, make yourself a cup of tea, snuggle into the couch, take your mind, body, and spirit to places you've never been before between the pages of a book. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. And again,
Thanks,
Kevin,
Jeanette.
thank you so much.